Joining us now is Scott Shelley, Senior Vice President of TJM Investments. Scott, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Hey, we will start with the grain markets. How are they looking on this Tuesday morning?
Well, the overnight session was rather quiet, and most of the time usually is. So as we say in the industry, we're pretty much sharply unchanged, a little easier. And it looks as though that as we get closer and closer to the end of March, when we get that acreage report and we start to build a picture of what the weather's going to be like, we're going to probably trade in defensive fashion. We've seen some pretty good gains over the last 3 months, ever since we actually really had that bearish November report. So things have held in rather well against all the other commodities around the world, especially with what the dollar's been doing. But I think that right now we're going to have to see something bullish every day to kind of stem the tide. Every now and again, I reckon we'll have some sort of short squeeze, but we're going to be defensive going until maybe the end of March.
Here in the northern plains, we've seen a pretty decent lack of snow. Going forward, has that become a concern as we see, if this continues over the next several months?
Yeah, it could be, and that's the type of thing that this market's going to have, some sort of demand story from the Far East, and I'm not quite sure that's going to really come to fruition because we have had some news out of China this morning that they're still slowing, or some weather scare when we've got a little bit of, we get a little bit of dry weather, or the subsoil moisture is not ideal. So that's the type of thing that will have to be coming through the markets here to keep us kind of supportive. But if we do get decent weather and Mother Nature complies and we get some acreage like I think we will, it's going to be difficult for us to really sustain a big rally in the face of everything else that's happening around us around the globe.
Down in the southern hemisphere, as they go from fall down into winter here shortly, how are things looking down there?
Well, we didn't have any hiccups, so that was also not maybe a negative, but it just wasn't a positive. So although it didn't really hurt us, we didn't get anything out of there that was going to get anybody scared to come rushing for expensive, U.S. beans. I was in Hong Kong last week, and I can say that, the Chinese are slowing down, so that demand story out of China doesn't look to be as great as it was. And I'm just getting a little bit more concerned with what I see happening in Europe, obviously China, and the slowdown that we've got going on in Japan, what the U.S. economy is going to be able to do in the face of all this, and then how farmers are going to have to, adjust their marketing plans to do, to be competitive.
All right, switching gears here a little bit, livestock markets, how are they trending?
Pretty much unchanged as well. Feeders are down a tad, but nothing to speak of over there. But I think as the grains go right now, so does the livestock market. A lot of times we'll have a little bit of a turnaround Tuesday action here, but right now the volumes really haven't come through to give us any decent picture about how the day is going to really start off, except for the fact it looks like it's going to start just like it ended yesterday.
All right, very good. We are out of time. Scott, thanks for joining us this morning.
All right, good luck today.
All right, thanks. Once again, that was Scott Shelley, Senior Vice President, TJM Investments.